Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's been a hot minute since I last posted. I think somewhere in the range of 3 to 4 weeks, something like that. So it's been a wee bit busy over the last 3 or 4 weeks. During that time I've got a couple projects that have started, and looks like I'm buying a house out in Coquitlam, for those of you who know the BC area. So I think I probably will try to make a video about kind of the buying process, maybe, if I get a chance, hopefully. Or at least kind of talk about some of the regions and the pricing, all that kind of fun stuff. So real estate's a wee bit steep out here in BC, but I knew that going in, so no big surprise there. But I'm going to make this video particularly short for me, considering that the last one was about 30 minutes and very few people saw that. So took me forever to edit that thing, so I don't want to go down that road again, maybe at least for a little while. So this, as maybe some people saw, it's a little bit of a clickbaity type of thumbnail perhaps, but not that much. So I have already traded in all my Nikon gear. If you look at the thumbnail, you should see pretty much everything that I traded in, but just to kind of give you an idea, the D850, my beloved D850, I've traded it in. The 70-200 f2.8 lenses, I had the VR2, not the FLED. Traded 2 of those in. One of those was my daughter's. Traded in my Tamron 24-70 G2, my 50mm 1.8. and my beloved 85mm 1.4G. So basically all my f-mount lenses are now all gone. Also traded in my Nikon, the D7500, which was my daughter's, and the 18-140 DX lens, which was also hers. So, and you might ask, well, what did I get for all that trade-in? What am I switching to? I'm staying with Nikon, so I am not going anywhere. I love Nikon. I am super happy with everything that they're producing. No reason to switch. So in that way, it's Nikon to Nikon switch is all this is. I'm going completely mirrorless. This is something I've been waiting to do for quite some time. So you might ask, like I said, what did you get for that trade-in, for all that gear that I traded in, all my f-mount type equipment? And basically, I put a deposit down on the new Nikon Z6 Mark II. And we'll talk about the specs here in just a bit. Everybody else has made videos on that, so this is not going to be anything earth-shattering. I'll just kind of talk a little bit about which particular specs were important to me. And again, after I've said this so many times, it's your particular use case that matters more than anything else. I've seen some people bashing the Z7 series or the new Mark II series, considering or saying that they're still not caught up to maybe the Sonys or the Canons of the world. I don't care. Not one iota about that. For my use case, portraiture, some landscape photography, those types of things, the Z7 series with all the new features pretty much ticks all the boxes for what I was looking for, so in the Mark II. So anyway, put down a deposit on the Z7 II, so I got some credit that was left over after I've got 3 lenses. One of the lenses is the 14-30 f4 that I traded in for. Now this one was kind of a replacement for the 16-35 f4 that I had a number of years ago that I had traded in a while back. Love that lens. I used it quite a bit on landscape photography, but when I had maybe transitioned more into the portrait photography side, I wasn't using it quite as much. So I'm kind of excited to use this lens. Now I've only used it a few times. I did all this about 2 weeks ago, right around the time that on the date that they Nikon rumors indicated that, or maybe Nikon itself, I think, said that the new cameras were going to be released. So I did all this prior to knowing for sure what all the features were going to be on the new Z7 II. This lens so far, and I've only used it a few times unfortunately, but very sharp corner to corner, especially even at 14mm. There's no distortion from what I can tell. I just did a few real kind of snapshot type images, and I don't think I'll probably post them because they're not exactly earth-shattering, so I'm not going to convert anybody on how great a photographer I am with those snapshot images. Just in the neighborhood itself, or I took a few shots with this thing. So the 14-30 f4 is one of the lenses that I got. So this guy, the 70-200 f2.8 lens, I am super excited about. This thing, from just shooting around the house so far, the focus acquisition is just lightning fast, and the image quality is phenomenal. So and it's really well balanced. I don't remember my previous version of the 70-200 being quite so balanced, and it feels a little lighter to me. So I don't know if that's true, but it certainly feels that way. So I am super excited to use this. This may become my new favorite lens over maybe even the 85 1.4G that I had before. Like I said, image quality is beautiful. The bokeh that I've seen so far is beautiful, and I may post a few images from this. Again, nothing earth-shattering as far as, you know, it's not going to win any awards from what I shot, but just kind of gives you an idea of the image quality of this guy. Super quiet too. I mean, it is like virtually silent when it's acquiring focus. So I am really excited to use this. I don't know if this would be more of a, I probably will never use it on the video side, but from the still side, photography side, this thing is phenomenal so far from what I've seen. So still need to do more testing. So this is not a review, by the way. So I don't do reviews. I just don't really believe in them unless I've had the piece of equipment for a year or two or something along those lines. So, you know, I'm not going to do that from just going out and shooting a few times. Like, I won't name names. And the final lens that I got is the Nikon 85mm 1.8 Z-mount lens. So this will be more for portraiture. This is super lightweight, and I've only done a few images of this so far too. Bokeh looks fantastic. Image quality very, very sharp as well. And now, I don't know, we'll have to see, like I said, which one's going to end up more in my bag, that 70-200 or the 85 1.8 when I'm doing portraiture work. I do really love this length of lens, and I use the 85 1.4 almost about 95% of the time when I was doing portraiture work before. So I'm sure this one will stay on my camera quite a bit as well. And I'm also shooting right now on the 35mm 1.8. Which I've almost, well, every one of my recent videos, with the exception of the few early on, were shot on that lens, and super happy with that because it's unbelievably quiet, and I think the image quality is stellar as well. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on with me, what I've been doing, switching to 100% mirrorless. Like I said, one of the big reasons why I switched was just because the image quality of these new lenses I really wanted to try out. I feel like I've been kind of caught up in a rut of using my existing lenses, the f-mount lenses, and not feeling like they were really inspiring me to go out and shoot anymore. And so these new lenses, at least from what I've seen so far, are just phenomenal. So light years ahead. Even, like I said, if you want to compare the 85 1.8 to the 85 1.4, there's plenty of reviews out there, the f-mount lens, I should say, 85 1.4. There's plenty of reviews out there that shows the image quality. They're just so well made, and I'm super excited to try them, and especially once I have the new Z7 Mark II in my hands to see how, you know, using that higher resolution sensor on the Z7 versus the Z6 is what I've got here, or the Z6, just to kind of compare the two. So I'm excited about that. And I'll just talk just briefly about the specs. Like I said, I am not the definitive on this. I'm just not the kind of person that thinks that specs are the be-all to end-all. It doesn't really matter to me. There was a few things, though, that I really wanted to have in the new Z7 before I switched from my beloved D850. One of those was the dual card slots was more of a nice to have. So I know everybody complained about the dual card slots, but on the D850, even with portraiture work, I had the dual card slots, rarely use that second slot. So that one wasn't as big a deal to me, and maybe people will laugh, but one of the big things for me was the vertical grip. So I really wanted that vertical grip. I used that all the time in my portraiture work before, and now that's coming out, it's going to have all the same features as the old vertical grip, and I can't remember the number on the D850 for that one, but it'll have the autofocus, back button focus, the shutter button, of course, and I think it has a couple of other features that they've tossed into that vertical grip as well. So I may try to post those up here or something in the video, we'll see. But it also has the 4K 60, which is not that big a deal to me either on the video side, but I'm kind of looking forward to trying that out. So for me, there's two features really that were the most important. The dual Expeed 6 processors I'm really excited about because of the fact that I think it's really going to enhance the focus capabilities of the camera. you know, everybody was like, well, the focus capabilities are just not quite as good as some of these other ones that are out there. I think these dual processors are really going to allow for focus acquisition that much quicker. So that one is kind of a big deal for me, and I don't even remember if that was in the Nikon rumors or not, but that's going to be a huge deal. The ability to recharge your battery while shooting is really pretty cool. So this new 15C battery, the NEL, whatever the heck it is, that allows you to recharge the battery while shooting is really phenomenal. So if you're shooting in a studio, that's a big deal. If you're shooting outside, most of the time, probably not as big a deal, but still super cool. I'm looking forward to having all those focus points across the whole range. That's one of the huge things that you get with mirrorless. Didn't have that with the D850, but 493 focus points across the whole screen there, or the whole frame. That's a big deal for me. An increased buffer size is a big deal as well. I think that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else. I think there's a couple of other features that they've added in there. Something about the wireless connection or something that's supposed to be better. You can supposedly upgrade, do firmware updates via wireless. I don't really care about that. I can easily shove a card in there and do a firmware update. It's not that big a deal, so that's not a huge advantage. And I think the EVF is pretty much the same as it was before, so that wasn't changing, but I was super happy with the Z6 EVF. Z7, I'm sure, this is going to be perfectly fine as well. So that's it. Super short video. Apologies for taking 3 or 4 weeks to post another video. And for those of you, I think there's been a few more subscribers recently. So welcome. Thank you very much. I'm excited about that as well. And more to come. I'm going to try out these guys out in the field, hopefully. If you have any specific questions on things you'd like to shoot or like for me to show you, specifically with maybe the new 70-200, let me know in the comments. That'd be fantastic. Or the other lenses as well, the 14-30. Now, I personally didn't really want to wait for the 14-24 f2.8. I don't really need that, if you will, the additional capabilities. I don't do nighttime photography really that much. I mean, I do shooting downtown images and stuff like that, but as far as astrophotography, which is really where I think that additional stopper would come into play, not that big a deal to me. I'm not doing astrophotography, so I think this 14-30 is lightweight, 82mm filter size, all that fun stuff is going to be perfect for me for as a replacement of the 16-35. So anyway, like I said, that's it, folks. Thank you for coming out and watching this, and I hope everyone's having a great week so far, a weekend actually, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.